So Johannesburg Pride is a platform that creates awareness for the LGBT community, not just in South Africa, but across Africa. Our purpose is ultimately to liberate every LGBT person in Africa to live their authentic life. And how we plan to achieve that is by supporting, collaborating, encouraging more pride or pride-like events across Africa.
Do you feel that you are actually getting to where you want to be?
I think we are. It's a slow journey forward. Africa's diversity is a lot more complex, and not everywhere in Africa would we be able to do the type of setup we have here today, but there is definitely starts. And I mean, for recent times, the best example is Kukuma refugee camp that celebrated Pride not so long ago. So yes, there's definitely movement in the right direction.
Well, talking about the movement in the right direction, we understand that the 2019 Mr. Gay was cancelled in Hong Kong.
So it wasn't cancelled, it was relocated.
Right.
The 2019 Mr. Gay World organizers selected Hong Kong as part of the diversity to host an LGBT event in the East, with the intention of hoping to assist the LGBT community within the Eastern Bloc or Southeast Asia, but when we looked at how the LGBT community members in China, as well as the colleagues of Mr. Gay World in China and their families, were being affected by the news of setting up a Mr. Gay World in Hong Kong in 2019, then the organizers took a decision to relocate to Cape Town. What we are finding is that we do need to be cognizant of the fact that there are challenges in certain parts of the world when organizing an LGBT event, and I think it was very sensitive of them to relocate long before the time to circumvent any crisis, and also to alleviate some of the hardships the organizers or LGBT activists within that region would face.
Would you say our South African culture is perhaps accepting of the LGBTI group?
Well, it's a catch-22. I think that we in South Africa are covered by the Constitution, but we still have integration issues. Take Johannesburg Pride, for example. 4 years ago, it was a strategic move to move it to a venue like Melrose Arch, purely because when we discussed it as a team, there was no value in celebrating Pride in isolation in a rugby field. And on a month-end Saturday in Melrose Arch, while all businesses are going about their business as usual, to bring such a diverse event to Melrose just shows the level of inclusivity that we are moving towards, and the fact that there's no barrier to entries in places like this. So yes, I think Melrose Arch are definitely trend-setting in terms of inclusivity, in terms of no barriers to entry, in terms of accessibility. But it's not that easy across the country. There are still challenges being faced in, especially the townships. But change is going to come, and change sometimes comes slower than other times.
Would you say one of those challenges is the officials refusing to officiate marriages?
So, Home Affairs staff, I think in my opinion that they are there for a purpose. They are in the employ of the Department of Home Affairs of South Africa, and it's our constitutional right to be allowed to conduct civil union ceremonies within the Home Affairs environment. So I do believe that the ministry needs to take a hard approach with staff, because they're getting paid to do a job. At the end of the day, it is why they are in employ. And sometimes we have to really look at the purpose of what our role is within where we are and what we do. So yeah, I think that they definitely need to take a more strong approach. And we do commend COPE for the stance that they've taken with regards to Home Affairs.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the theme.
The theme for 2018, so we mix a little. We draw our themes from our color. So the rainbow flag that we do associate with, this year was the green color. Green symbolizes growth. When we looked at how do we look at growth, we're saying Africa is becoming proudly African. And when you look at our purpose, we're saying authentic life. So we're saying the best growth we can achieve for Africa is to be proudly African and authentically you.